Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby and have ourselves a drink.
All right, Michaela is singing, which means we are back in the lobby bar for the week of October the 20th, 2025. Brian and Michaela here with you. And Michaela, we picked up an ingredient a long time ago. Actually, it came from episode 17 of Drink the Movies. We talked about American Hustle. And in that film, the cocktail that we mixed up for that was, of course, the noble Pimm's Cup, which is an excellent, excellent cocktail. But if you're anything like me out there, listeners, Michaela, maybe, I don't know for sure, I bought a bottle of the fanciest Pimm's number one for that cocktail,
Mm.
and I don't think I've used it since.
Oh, well, that's a shame because I love a Pimm's Cup. Christmas time, for whatever reason, it always reminds me of England, and the Pimm's Cup apparently is a real big deal in England. The first time I had one was in 2011, I think. Yeah, 2011. It
Wow.
was
Okay.
yeah, it was at a training that was in Leeds, and me and an engineer were walking through this training thing, and it was like a happy hour, and they were handing out entrees, like really, like it was really festive and really cute, and they were like, have a Pimm's Cup, and I was like, what is this? And it's real good. So I have probably gone through at least a bottle since episode 17. I'm gonna say maybe not two or three bottles, but a bottle for sure.
A bottle. Yeah, and certainly the Pimm's Cup has its place. I believe we liked that as a summer cocktail, and obviously, kind of the Christmas essence of it there. But obviously, it is October right now. We are a mere 11 days from Halloween as of this recording. So, what I was doing is I was looking for some good spooky recipes that would, kind of fit the gap right here. We have parties coming up. You might have people over. The weather is finally starting to turn a little bit. And I found this cocktail. It is called the Forbidden Fruit, but it was one of the top rated fall cocktails. I believe it came from liquor.com. Yeah, liquor.com here for the Forbidden Fruit. And I said, that sounds really interesting. And it uses this Pimm's number one, which I've not been able to use up in any other way than making a Pimm's cup. So let's go ahead and put one of these together. And it might sound a little bit complicated, but it's not really if you have the first two ingredients here. And that is 1 ounce of the Pimm's number one and 1.5 ounce of apple brandy. So the one they're recommending you use is Laird's. That's probably the biggest, most like famous one here out of the United States, but you could certainly use any kind of apple brandy you want. So 1.5 ounces of that, 1 ounce of that Pimm's, and then a half an ounce of freshly squeezed lemon juice, a teaspoon of simple syrup, about 4 dashes of bitters here, Angostura and Peychaud's. And then you can go ahead and just mix that up. And if you wanted to batch this out for a big party, certainly up those amounts and do that way. And then once you have that batched out into your glass with some ice, just going to throw some ginger beer on top of that. So, kind of similar to a Pimm's cup in a lot of ways, but bringing in that apple brandy to give it a little bit of a fall flair. Michaela, how does that sound? The forbidden fruit.
Sounds real good. Sounds real good. I think if you wanted to go extra fall-ish, instead of the teaspoon of simple syrup, plain simple syrup, you could always use the pumpkin pie spice simple syrup or like a cinnamon sugar simple syrup to give it like an extra fall like pick because it's just such a little amount. It's not
Mhm.
going to become like fall in your mouth, and you wouldn't want it to overpower the rest of the flavors in there. But just to give it a little bit more umptiousness, that way, a little oomph, fall oomph.
And they actually make, if you go to your spice aisle of your grocery store, right next to the pumpkin pie spice, this time of year, they actually have started putting out like an apple pie spice as well, which is just kind of some like cinnamon and nutmeg, right?
Mm.
It doesn't quite lean into like the clove and stuff that you would get in your pumpkin spice. So maybe something like that would be good to pair up with that. And I feel like you could make this base up and obviously pair it here with the ginger beer, but you could also probably serve like that base warm. That would be pretty nice, I think, as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that sounds awesome, actually. Fire next to you. That'd be lovely.
That's right. Get that fire going and mix up a forbidden fruit. And let us know if you have any good cocktail recipes or punch recipes here as we are next to Halloween parties coming up here in just a little over a week for Halloween. So let's talk about some movies, Michaela. Black Phone, the new release, Black Phone Part 2. It takes the weekend with $26.5 million, followed by Tron Ares, who comes in at just over $11 million in its second week. So bad news, Tron Ares. Hopefully you listened to our episode about that and had a good time with it because it'll be hitting streaming sooner rather than later, I would guess. Good Fortune, that Angel movie, Keanu Reeves and Aziz Ansari in that one, taking third place at $6.2 million dollars. So, Michaela, Black Phone 2, I've seen some feedback from it, and it looks pretty good, and it seems like it's leaning a little bit more into the psychological horror aspects, same as the first one did. So, this suddenly went from not interested to see it for me to being more interested to see it. Am I going to have time to fit it into the busy schedule prior to Halloween? I don't know. I don't know. But what do you think? Have you heard anything about Black Phone 2?
So I actually really want to see it, which means I need to watch Black Phone 1 like tonight because we have less than 72 hours before we're all supposed to be on a plane somewhere, not here. So I have zero time, but I'm going to make time because I have heard that it is actually really, really good. And so, but I heard the Black Phone 1, which I never even heard of until Black Phone 2 came out, that was actually a really good scary like psychological thriller time as well, which is
Mhm.
great because that's to me that's what scares me the most. It's not some crazy person trying to like it's not a slasher movie that gets me. It's the psychological piece to it. So I'm really excited. I think we should try and make the time to see it if we can.
Absolutely.
If
So
we
we'll see if we can squeeze that in. Yeah, because we are getting ready to head out of town ourselves. So let us know if you have seen Black Phone Part 2 and if we need to make time to get out to see it. There's a couple of other things coming out this week. Maybe we need to make time for these. Definitely one of them. But we have the film Regretting You is coming out this week. That is based on the Colleen Hoover book, who had that. It Ends With Us, which came out I think last year. Just that could be interesting to you out there. I don't know your thoughts and feelings about that, Michaela. You may have read that book. I don't know for sure, but I do know for sure that you are in love with one Jeremy Allen White and what's his name? What's his name? Jeremy Strong and one
Jeremy
Jeremy
Strong.
Strong. I know, also in love with him, and they're starring in the biopic Springsteen, Deliver Me from Nowhere. I guess talking about the lead up to the release of Nebraska. That's a pinnacle work from Springsteen. What about either of
Yes.
these?
Oh yeah, no, I'm definitely going to see the Springsteen movie. Regretting You, the only thing that I'm regretting is that book even exists. Probably, I've never saw the book or read the book, but Colleen Hoover, I just don't understand. I don't get it. I don't get it. I watched or read the uh, the one that came out last year, and I didn't love that. I didn't like the book. I just didn't like it. So I'm gonna be skipping Regretting You probably, unless by some unknown force like it gets nominated for an Oscar, and then I'm gonna have to watch it. I'm probably
Yeah,
gonna skip that one. But the
no
Springsteen one,
regrets,
that's
no
gonna be
regrets here.
amazing. That's gonna be
Springsteen is
amazing.
Springsteen's going to be amazing, as two of the great actors of our current generation, 100%. And talking about Bruce Springsteen, another kind of enigmatic figure that is kind of at the peaks of what American, I guess, pop culture and identity is. So I got those coming to your movie theater. If you want to stay home this week, if it's going to be cold and leaves are falling, things like that, you can check out the premiere of It, Welcome to Derry. That's kind of prequel series that's coming out to HBO Max. That looks pretty good. I'm pretty excited for that. And a remake of a film we actually talked about on our Patreon hangout this week, The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. That is coming to Hulu. And I have to say, that looks pretty good too, because The Hand That Rocks the Cradle is not something I've put a lot of thought into since it came out in 1992, but it was a big, like, controversial kind of a thing when it came out in 1992. And I'm excited to see this new take on it.
What was it controversial in 1992?
I don't know. It was scary, and it was like involving like the caretaking of a child, which is
Oh,
anytime you get
oh.
you get children
Yeah.
kind of in the
I
mix.
mean,
You know.
yeah. So fun fact about Michaela, probably unsurprisingly, I saw this in the theater and it became one of my favorite movies of the year of 1992. I was 11, okay? And I
A fun fact about Brian is Brian was not allowed to see The Hand That Rocks the Cradle when it came out. So
darn right you weren't. And you know why? Because it's not for children. Okay. But it had Rebecca De Mornay and she's real hot and scary and terrifying and crazy. Certifiably like not okay, not mentally okay in that film. I did not know that this was being made into a remake, so I'm gonna have to check it out no matter what, even if it's absolutely awful, because I had such a love for the first one. It had Matt McCoy in it, it had Annabella Sciorra in it, it had Ernie Hudson in it, I believe. Um,
mm-hmm.
it's um so good. Oh, it has Julian Moore, like before Julian Moore became like the epic amazingness. She was always amazing, but she was still kind of unknown at the time. I mean, this film, holy moly, it revenge, man. Don't mess with someone who feels
No,
she's been wrong. She's gonna find you in your sleep.
yeah, that's right. That's right. Absolutely. Watch for yourself out there. In this new telling we've got Maika Monroe is playing the role, I guess, of the babysitter here, and Mary Elizabeth Winstead is playing the mother there. Mary Elizabeth Winstead, both married to Ewan McGregor and from North Carolina at the same time. So what's not to love there? So we've got that coming everyone's way over on Patreon, patreon.com/drink the movies. We did our chat and hang out, our cocktail chat, our movie chat with our patrons last week. That was a lot of fun, bar some technical difficulties that we were able to overcome and still had a really fun chat. And we also did a very special new sort of episode we're going to be putting out, to kind of everyone, in the future here of Drink the Movies, but did a first trial run just for our patrons. That's over there. Again, that's patreon.com/drink the movies. So, Michaela, we have a lot of things to see here, in a little bit of time to see them. I need to go use up my bottle of Pimm's cup. And I probably need to go, procure some candy because the clock is ticking for that Halloween trick or treat night. So let's go
Mm.
ahead and do that. We'll talk to everyone next week in the lobby bar.